Hi, I'm Izzy, and this is Dizzy Quilts and Sews. Welcome to this week's episode of Friday Sews. Alright, I have a lot to share this week, so I'm going to jump right in there. First of all, let's talk about what I've managed to get done in the sewing room this week. So the first thing I finished, and I talked about this in last week's Friday Sews video, I wanted to do a bit of a mashup. This would have been, or this was, my first time mashing two patterns together, and it was a little more complicated by the fact that I was mashing together two patterns from two different pattern companies or indie pattern companies. But I wanted to try what I would end up with if I used the top half of the Seychelles top from Itch to Stitch with the bottom half of the Rhapsody blouse by Love Notions. I absolutely love the details in the top part of the Seychelles, the beautiful pleats at the shoulders, the fact that it's narrow shoulder, so cuts in a tiny bit, the beautiful V-neck, but it's a very boxy top, so I thought I could attach to it from the waist down the Rhapsody blouse that cuts in a bit. There's a bit of shaping at the waist, and it has a beautiful curved hem. So I got started working on that right after I filmed last week's Friday Sews video, and the actual printing and taping of the pattern pieces went together beautifully. I went with a size 18 Seychelles top for the double D bust cups and attached the bottom of the 1X or XL, one size down from 2XL on the Rhapsody blouse. I basically cut both patterns at the waist notch and then joined them at the waist notch. Because the shaping is different, I had to do some tracing and some cutting and things, but anyways, in the end, it worked perfectly. I wanted to sew it up on Friday morning before leaving for the island, but I had a bunch of things to do on Friday, plus the weather was just horrendous. We got hit by the remnants of Debbie, the tropical storm that came up from the US, and it basically poured heavy rain and winds all day Friday. So I was down here Friday, I cut my fabric, I got all my pattern, fine-tuned and ready to go, and then the power went out because of the winds, and it never came back on that night, so I had to set everything aside, and I finished it when I got back from the island on Sunday. I had no issues at all sewing this up. I used a cotton sateen from Beyond the Pink Door. I'm pretty sure, I forgot to check before recording this, but I'm pretty sure it's a Narita Hansen print that Andrea has in her shop. And I kind of impulse bought that print during one of Andrea's lives on Sundays. If you don't subscribe to Andrea's YouTube channel, by the way, just a side note, go ahead and do that. I'm going to link to her channel because every Sunday night she hosts a live from her shop, and she shows you all of her latest arrivals, and she demos the fabrics, like how they drape, what they feel like, the colors. It's the next best thing if you can't shop in person and actually touch the fabric. So anywho, this print I saw during one of Andrea's lives, and I just had to have it. So I immediately ordered myself 2 yards or 2 meters, thinking I was going to make myself a top of some description. I'd also forgotten, I guess, that I don't enjoy wearing cotton on my top half. But anywho, I moved forward, I made the top, and then I put it on, and I was a little bit disappointed. I love the top part because the more structured fabric really allows the little pleats at the shoulders to shine. The V is nice and crisp in the front, but that also means that the bottom, if I don't have it tucked in, really stands away from my body, and I don't love that. Also, although I did cut, I think I cut 3.5 inches from the length, and I should have cut more because it's too long for me in the front. I don't know why it's longer in the front than the back. I love where it hits me in the back, but yeah, it's too long for me in the front. I think the proportions are just weird. I don't love it. If I do a front tuck, I do like it a lot more. So I'm going to take the top with me to Greece because it kind of works in my little travel capsule thing that I'm working on. And then I'll try and style it in a bunch of different ways and decide from there if it's going to stay in my wardrobe or if I'm just going to donate it or give it to a friend. But I mean, it gave me some confidence because I was able to figure out how to mash 2 patterns together. Mind you, it was a very easy mashing because, yeah, take the top from one, bottom from the other. But still, it gave me a little boost of confidence thinking, okay, maybe I could do this with more than just that one pattern. But yeah, I'm not in love with the final result. I think I kept the pattern, I kept the new pattern, and I think maybe at some point I'm going to try it again with a drapier fabric, take some length off the front, and yeah, try it again with the drapier fabric and see if I like that a little bit better. Also, I don't know why I haven't really noticed this with all of my tops, but, and maybe again it's the fabric, but I feel as though it even stands away from my body up here. Like I always feel like the fabric, I don't know, like I have some extra room here. So I don't know what that's about. And again, maybe it is the fabric. If I try it in a drapier fabric that's gonna stay closer to the body a little bit, that might not happen. But that also annoys me a tiny bit. So anywho, that was my first completed project for the week. I did post some pictures on Instagram. I think it was yesterday. Today's Thursday. I always film on Thursdays for my Friday sews. So yeah, posted to Instagram and on my community tab, and a lot of you had very, very nice things to say about the top. But yeah, I mean, I'm the one wearing the top and I'm just not feeling it. So we will see. Second thing I finished this week, you won't see the results of this for a couple of weeks yet, but I finished my Quilt As You Go sampler quilt. So I put the binding on it, I put the label on it, I recorded the whole video. So the final video in the series, this series has been going on the channel since January. I had a lot of fun filming each video and answering questions and comments every time one would come out. But more than anything else, I've so enjoyed seeing the pictures on Instagram of those of you who are making the quilt along with me. So yeah, so stay tuned. The last video in the series is coming out, I think on the 25th of August. All of the many, many clips are now with Marianne to get all edited together and turned into a video that hopefully makes sense. So that was my second job completed this week. And the third thing I managed to get completely done this week is publishing the video in which I test or experiment with the Nancy Zeman pivot and slide method. And you'll see on my mannequin behind me the results of that experimentation. It was a huge success, not just the top, but the video. Gosh, the number of views and all of the comments and all of the questions and the number of people who said they hadn't even known about this method, and I was just blown away by the response to the video. And I want to say thank you to all of you who watched it, who commented on it. I want to say a huge welcome to all of the new subscribers. I hope you decide to stick around to the channel. So yeah, I just had so much fun yesterday answering all the questions and the comments. And I really do love the method. I mean, this was not fake or anything like that. I really want to try it again. I want to learn more about it. I really want to go through my book, find more videos, and find ways to apply this method to more garment styles, to pants, to bodices that have darts, some that have princess seams. Like, I want to try all of it just because I've had so many issues fitting garments to the body I have now, the body that's constantly changing, it feels like. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing lots more exploring of the pivot and slide method and take you all along with me. Probably starting in October, I want to do a video on a regular basis, kind of just working out loud and sharing what I'm learning and what's working for me and what's not. Because the other thing is, I'm now finding, I've been at this YouTube thing for 2.5 years, and as strange as that's gonna sound, I find myself referring back to my videos from time to time. If I need to do something I haven't done in a while, if I have a tutorial for it, I'll go back. If I want to remind myself about, you know, how did I really feel about this top that I made 18 months ago that I haven't worn since, that kind of thing. So I want to do a lot more video and how-to and pattern reviews, and yeah, show you or share my thoughts on things, because then this almost acts as a journal for me, or like almost like a photo album that I can go back through and kind of remind myself what I was thinking and what I was doing and why I was doing it. So maybe something for you to look forward to. But that will probably not happen until October with everything I've got going on in September. So there's that. So it's been a busy week. It's been a productive week. It's been just a really, really good week. I've had a lot of fun. And on top of all of that, I managed to get started on the last piece of my Greece capsule travel wardrobe thingy, the Vernon shirt that I'm making with a chambray fabric from Minerva. Let me just go get it for you. Oh. So here's the fabric. It's this really, really beautiful, lightweight chambray, which will be perfect as a layering piece for Greece. So I've got the front and the back pieced together at the shoulders. I've got my yoke in. You use the burrito method to put the yoke in. I've got my darts sewn. My sleeves are ready to go. I've got the placket at the bottom all done. I've pinned it closed for now because now I need to gather stitches and put in the cuffs and then insert the sleeves, and then all that's going to be left is the button band, the buttonholes, and the buttons. And I'm not really worried about how long that's going to take me because my Juki machine does buttonholes like nobody's business. It's so easy. And I also like to sew my buttons on by machine. So I'm going to continue working on this tonight after I finish recording this, and I probably won't finish it tonight, and then will probably be away this weekend, but hopefully I'll be able to finish it Sunday night or Monday night. And then my entire travel capsule will be finished. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm happy to see the, the finish line on that one. And yeah, once my Vernon shirt is made for the rest of August, so until September 3rd when I leave for my trip, I've got two things I really want to get done. The first thing is do a mock-up of the bodice for the dress I'm making for Marianne, who is coming with me to Charlotte Frocktails in October. So I really want to try at least one version of the bodice of the dress on her before we go, because it's a little more involved. It's not something I've ever done, ever attempted. It's a completely different style. So I really want to have at least one version of it done and fitted to her before we go. And then the last thing I want to get done also before I go, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get working on that next week, is a few Project Dress-A-Girl dresses. So let me get my fabric for those and tell you a little bit about the event. All right, so Project Dress-A-Girl is basically an initiative, a charity initiative led by Mari from Mari Sews in the US. She, every September, and it's going to kick off on September 1st, every September she does a collection. She collects dresses made by sewists all over the world that she then sends to an organization. I think the organization is Dress-A-Girl Around the World, where the dresses are then distributed to girls in need. So either in poor countries or in countries devastated by war, or where refugees are being displaced. And yeah, so for basically girls who are in very, very bad, dangerous, sad situations, and the organization allows them to have at least one new dress, which is, as frivolous as it may sound, can be empowering for a little girl, can be confidence boosting for a little girl. So I participated last year. I made a few dresses and I wanted to participate again this year, but because of everything I've got going on, I couldn't be part of Mari's vlogger tour, and I want to get my dresses done before I leave. Now, last year, Sherry from mensfabrics.ca here in Canada had some fabric in her shop that she offered to send to me to make dresses, because Sherry is the Canadian ambassador for the event, for the organization. So all the dresses made in Canada that are shipped to Sherry, some will be sent to Dress-A-Girl Around the World, and some of the dresses will be sent to an organization in the Ukraine to help little girls over there. She sent me a picture of the dress, or one of the dresses I made last year, worn by a little girl in the Ukraine, and I almost cried. You give money to charity and you do things for charity, and then once you've done the thing, you rarely get to see and hear the actual result of what you've done. And when I saw that picture and I saw that little girl with my dress on, oh my goodness. So you can rest assured, those of you who are making dresses or who planning to make dresses during the month of September, your dresses do go to little girls. They are distributed to little girls who need them, will love them, and will wear them with pride. So please get involved. Again, this year, Sherry reached out and offered to send me some fabric with which to make dresses for the charity. And I picked two Ankara fabrics that she has in her shop specifically for this. And I'm going to put a link and all of the information, if you're in Canada, to Sherry's shop, her email, all of that good stuff. I'm also going to link to Mari's YouTube channel because on September 1st, she is kicking off the event, and you need to have a look at that and find out all of the details. So here are the two fabrics I picked for my dresses. So this one has some gold dots all over it, such beautiful colors, and it's a nice structured fabric. This one with all of the happy colors and more gold dots here and there. And I love that these dots are not scratchy at all. Like, these are gonna make some very cute dresses. So Sherry sent me 2 meters of each, which will be enough for me to make at least 4 dresses. And I want to make bigger sizes this year. I made little girls dresses, like little girls dresses last year, but this year I'd like to try and make some dresses for bigger girls because everybody loves a cute little 2-year-old and want to make dresses for that, but I want to make sure that a 10-year-old or maybe even a 12-year-old also feels special. So that's on my plans for next week and probably into the last week of August, right before I leave. I want to get these sewn up. Fingers crossed, I want to get them packaged up and sent over to Sherry so that she has them in September without a problem. So again, I'm going to link, like, the information I do have, I'm going to link it down in the description box below. But please go and subscribe to Mari's channel if you're interested in making little girl dresses, so you get all of the information on September 1st when she kicks off the event. So that is it for sewing plans. All right, as far as life, well, like I said, Hurricane or Tropical Storm Debbie landed in Montreal on Friday last week and knocked the power out. Usually when the power goes out around here, it's back up relatively quickly, but by 8 p.m. It had been a few hours and nothing was coming back on, so we just went to bed Friday night. I had a great night's sleep, by the way, when there are no electronics on in the house, no lights, no sounds. It's amazing how well you get to sleep. But the next morning we woke up and the power was still not on, but the rain had stopped. It was still a little bit windy, but nothing as bad as the day before. So we just packed our stuff and went to the island for the weekend. Stayed there Saturday, Sunday, and because we do have solar power over there, so I had power for the weekend. And then this coming weekend, again, hopefully, the weather forecast is not looking good at the minute, but, you know, it could change. Right now it's saying like 70 or 90% chance of rain on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is very disappointing. But if the weather improves, we're going to go to the island, and then Sunday evening for dinner, we're going to our oldest boy's house, because his first son, his first child, is turning 7 on Sunday. So we're going to go over there and celebrate James's birthday. And that's it. That's all I've got going on in the life department. Things have been nice and quiet around here, which is good. I'm not complaining about it. All right, well, that's going to do it for me this week. I hope you've had a good one. I hope you have a fabulous weekend and that it is not raining where you are. But if it is raining, I hope you get to sew a little bit. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please give the video a like on your way out if you liked it, and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again, and I will see you soon.